Never fear, Cindersh is here. And today I want to take and make a correlation between real life and Dragon Ball Z, particularly what's going on in Dragon Ball Super. Now, we've had this contrast for a while, and fans have really started to complain about it in Super. I mean, I know they complained about it with the end of Z. It kind of got rectified, kind of didn't. And then it's gotten worse here in Super. And that has to do with Chi Chi's character and Gohan's character. And the two kind of go together. Chi Chi has raised Gohan to the best of her ability to not want to fight. To not like fighting, so that he doesn't go train all the time. He would do something else, which he's done. To the point where he doesn't train at all, ever, unless he absolutely had to because there was a threat. And most of the time, Gohan gets his power boost through some type of special boost or training, or occasionally special training. Piccolo gives him special training, and Goku gives him special training as a preteen. Well, as a 9 or 10-year-old. And so, those 2 times he trains. But on Namek, he gets stronger because of the Zenkai boost or the special unlocking of his powers by Guru. And then in the Buu Saga, he's declined some from what he was as a kid, as a Super Saiyan 2. And it takes special training from the Supreme Kai and an unlocking of power from the old Kai to become Ultimate Gohan, or as some of you want to call him, Mystic Gohan. And he reached extremely high heights in power, far beyond what he was, far beyond what even Buu Tanks, with Piccolo and Gotenks absorbed, could be. But it was always because of something special, something that would only exist in that universe, but doesn't exist in real life. In contrast to that, you've got Goku, you've got Vegeta. As best as we know, Tien still constantly trains. Up until Super, Piccolo has always spent the majority of his time training. I don't know, Super, it seems like he's not been training as much either. That's just the feeling I get between him carrying groceries for Chi Chi and him babysitting for Gohan. He seems to be more of a father figure or a grandfather, than anything else, and he's not spending his time training while Goku was off training. Even when Goku was there and actually was working or trying to work, Piccolo was doing things to help out, and he wasn't training either. Another one of those things that's kind of a bug and throws tradition out the window. But, maybe those are just his days off training. Whatever. Because you do need those sometimes too. But in real life, particularly when it comes to military might, just like with Goku and Vegeta, you've got to have the constant training. You've got to have the support to be allowed to train, to be able to afford to do all the training necessary to be fully prepared when a battle does come your way. But most of the time, and it's funny because we dislike Chi Chi so much for this trait, but most of us in the Western world culture were the exact same way when it comes to our military. Oh, we're in time of peace. We don't need to spend millions of dollars to keep our troops funded. We need to shrink our military forces. We don't need to keep up assets, our ships, our tanks, our airplanes. Minimize the troops, minimize their training, and then we can't defend ourselves when an army that has been doing these things shows up. When a threat that's found the weaknesses and knows how to isolate them, knows how to take advantage of them, strikes. And the world is seeing some of that. It's mostly terror acts, but the world is seeing that, and it's because we aren't doing our job to train and prepare for these events where we ought to. Now, I understand some things you can't train for, you can't prepare for necessarily, but you've got to try. And Gohan doesn't try. We tend to tell our armies, don't try. Don't bother preparing. Somehow we'll make things work if and when a battle does come. But we're in a time of peace. Enjoy the peace. Live in peace. Don't prepare for anything else. For some stupid reason, that is the way we work. It's what the government's trying to tell us we need to do. And we do it. We say, okay, that's great. Let's do it. We hop on board. And then we're going to get ourselves stumped when someone notices, hey, our military is weak. They're untrained. They're unprepared. When they do the motions, they're not very consistent. They're not very accurate. They're not very thorough. They make a lot of mistakes. They're slow at getting it done. They're unsure of procedures. Gohan is unsure how much of his power he can tap into. He's unsure if he how long he can stay Super Saiyan when he transforms. He's confident he can transform, but he doesn't know how well he can sustain that level of power right now. But Goku and Vegeta are going to come, and they've been training, they're prepared, and they're going to end it. I was surprised just how realistic this plays out. It made me take a little bit of a new appreciation for the fact these characters are in here. And I've wanted to see Gohan get another boost in power. And maybe he will. But maybe it is time for the real world to catch up to Gohan. And for him to be left in the dust. Unless he decides, you know what? I do need to start being prepared. And I am going to start training. Because I couldn't do what everyone needed me to be able to do when the time came for it. Now, way back when, at the beginning of the series, I made a wish list for Super, and that it was one of the things I wished would happen, is go on, if he didn't get a special boost, like becoming the god, he would simply wake up and realize he needed to train. And having this realization about how closely Gohan and Chi Chi's role in Z imitates our real life tendencies towards preparing for wars and battles in a lot of the Western countries like the United States, England, the UK, France, a lot of these countries. That's your glimpse of the real life right there, is Gohan and Chi Chi. That's the way we behave. And oddly enough, whether we've realized it or not, we see it, and it frustrates us, and that makes us upset that that's the way they are. And we sort of maybe subconsciously realize it, but we don't really understand that actually that's who we are. Well, that's kind of my video. I hope you've sat through it, and if you have, you've enjoyed the thoughts behind what I had to say. This was a different video. I don't know how often I'll do something this serious in nature, this kind of tone anyway, but I hope you will continue to watch my channel and like my videos, and if you haven't done so, that you will subscribe to my channel. This has been Super Saiyan 7 Cinders, and I will be back with new content in the near future.